body is temporary, bodily perceptions, sensual perceptions are temporary. After describing it, matra, sparsha, sukha, unteya, shitoshna, sukha, dukkhada, all these are temporary feelings. Dukkha, sukha, because this happiness and distress is based on sensual platform. That's why Krishna says, Tam titikshasva bharata, tolerate all this. Going ahead, next shloka, Krishna says, Yam hi na vetiyanti te. Yam hi na vetiyanti te. Whoever understanding all this, having this knowledge that all this sukha and dukkha are temporary. Our body itself is temporary. And whatever we are experiencing through body, sensual platform, is also temporary. Because whole experience itself is a material, bhautika. Bhautika, whole world itself is temporary. Whole creation itself is temporary. Whatever we experience through this creation is also temporary. Yam hi na vetiyanti te. But we should have understanding that Purusham Purusharshaba. Oh Purusharshaba, oh Arjun. Purusharshaba here means Krishna is glorifying Arjun. Hey, the best among the man, best among the Purushas. Purusharshaba. One such person, a Purusham, a person who understands this fact. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. He becomes a dhira. Previously we discussed titikshava. One become titikshava. One should become titikshava. In the previous shlokas also we discussed dhiras tatra na muhyati. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. This body is temporary. Whatever we are experiencing through this body is temporary. If anybody understands this temporary nature of sukha and dukkha, he can tolerate. Dhiras tatra muhyati. He tolerates and he doesn't get bewildered. Muhyati, he doesn't get muhyanti. He doesn't get moha. If anybody understands this fact. That's why Krishna, he says in this shloka, such dhira, sama dukkha sukham dhiram. He sees sukha and dukkha equally. He doesn't get overwhelmed when we get sukha. He doesn't get depressed when he gets dukkha. So amrutavyaya kalpate. Such person gets liberation. That is a way of liberation, Prabhupada explains. So this is the nature of, Prabhupada explains in the purport, that is understanding of sannyasi. Sat nyasi, sannyasi. If anybody becomes sannyasi, he can get liberation easily. But we should understand what is this sannyasi. Sat nyasi iti sannyasi. One who walks on the path of truthfulness. Satya path. Sat nyasi iti sannyasi. One who walks, one who lives his life based on the principles of Satya. He is known as sannyasi. Another meaning of sannyasi, that he understands what is Sat. He has a clear-cut understanding what is Sat. What is Sat? Brahma Sat, Jagat Mithya. Yes. So Brahman is Satya. Brahman means spiritual. Spirituality is the truth. We are not this body, we are the spirit soul. That is truth. That is the truth. This is not just a relative truth, it is an absolute truth. Absolute truth. Relative truth. It is not relative truth. Okay, for me, I think I am the soul, I am not the body. For you, it may not be. No, it is not like that. It is absolute truth. Everybody, every living being is a spirit soul, not the body. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, the difficulties usually arise from having to sever the family relationships, to give up the connections of wife and children. But if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. So another meaning of sannyasi is one who is ready to cut off the connections from the bodily relationships. Can you just imagine? So giving up something what we are too much attached to. Yesterday, one student called me, says, nowadays I'm getting so much angry, Prabhu, what should I do? So I asked, on whom? No, it is not that on whom, but I just getting angry. But there should be something. I said, there should be something, right? On whom, on what you are getting angry? She said, I'm getting angry on myself. Okay, you are getting angry on yourself. Why? Then I asked why. Because I'm planning something, but that is not happening. A person, so and so person is not speaking, so is not acting as per what I thought. Then I said, the root cause of the anger is our attachment to our opinions, our attachment to our bodily connections. I'm sitting very comfortably now, on a chair, nice chair. I'm sitting nice, comfortable. Somebody comes and says, somebody comes and picks up my chair. Hey, I want that chair. Then immediately, I become upset. Yes, I become upset. Somebody is asking the chair which I'm sitting right now. You are taken a plate of food nicely. You have taken. Somebody comes and picks up. Give the plate. He just takes out the plate from you. How you feel? Angry. We become upset. So, our attachment to this body, our attachment to these opinions, my mind, mental opinions, thoughts, plans, our attachment to our career plans are the cause of our anxiety, are the cause of our distress, miserable life. Remember this. But sannyasi, one who understands the truth of the life, I am not the controller. I should not be too much attached to my opinions, family connections, body. Such person is eligible for liberation. That is a way of liberation. Somebody, I repeat this statement once again in the purport. Prabhupada writes, the difficulties usually arise from having to sever the family connections. It is very difficult to cut the connections. Oh, mera beta, oh, mera mata, oh, mera pita. So these are bodily connections. These are just blood relationships. These are not some soul connections. Remember this. These are just some blood connections. Karma bandhana. It is just some bodily relationships. In the past life, we had some transactions remained. You have taken some loan, you have not paid back. So they come as a relatives to close to us, so that they can take the money back, clear the transactions. We also go close to them because we had some transactions, pending transactions in the past life. So these are just a blood relationship. These are just karmic relationships. That's it. But we are so much attached to this body, me, I, and mine. So one devotee was telling, it is better to say my phone than iPhone. People nowadays, they are too much attached to iPhones. It is better to say my phone than iPhone. I conscience comes, right? So I is more problematic than mine. So false ego is more dangerous than false connections with this body. So we are all got stuck up with the attachment to this body, senses. And whatever we get into that sukha, dukkha, we think, yes, I'm getting affected. Yes, I'm getting affected. So unfortunately, we are got stuck up with this bodily concept of life. Once we are ready to sever the connections, sever means cut off the connections from these body relationships, wife, children's, such person understands. One who understands the truth, he is ready to cut the connections. Such person can tolerate the difficulties. Such kind of sannyasi can enter, he can get the liberation easily. So unfortunately, we don't have this knowledge, first of all, what is temporary, what is permanent. Second thing, even after knowing this, we got attached to these temporary connections, relationships, and it's very difficult to give up it. That's why it is very difficult to tolerate. That's why we are not eligible to go to liberation. If somebody having this understanding, here step by step, if somebody has understanding that body is temporary, bodily connections are temporary, bodily experiences, sensual experiences are temporary, soul is permanent, it is Atman, it is truth, he is known as sannyasi. And such person with that knowledge, he is ready to tolerate sukha and dukkha on the mental platforms, on the bodily platforms. Such person is eligible for the liberation. Yes, such person is eligible for liberation. Yes. So there is a definition of liberation. Mukti means, we should know the definition of mukti. In the Bhagavatam, there is a description. Swarupena muktir hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavastitaha. This is the definition of mukti. Remember this. Muktir hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavastitaha. Hitva means giving up. Giving up all the identities. I am this body, I am the son of so and so, I am the father of so and so, I am the daughter, I am the wife, I am the grihastha, I am the householder, I am the job, I am the employee, I am the student, I am Indian, I am Muslim, I am Hindu, I am Australian, I am this, I am that, etc., etc., etc. Hitva anyata rupam. We should give up all the identities. Swarupena vyavastitaha. We should situate ourselves in our swarupa. What is our swarupa? Our swarupa is, I am not this body, I am soul, and I am the servant of Krishna. Jivera nityera Krishna das. Jivera Krishnera nitya das. We are eternal servants of Krishna. When we situate in that Swarupa, that is called mukti. That is called mukti. This is the definition of mukti. So we have discussed the ways of liberation. We have discussed what is liberation. Now, previously also we discussed bhakti is greater than mukti. We have discussed this previously also. So there is a one nice shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, in the shloka it says, Bhakti vinu mukti nai, bhakti mukti haya. Yes. So in this shloka it is said, Bhakti vinu mukti nahi, bhakti mukti haya. Without bhakti, we cannot get mukti. Without performing bhakti, we cannot get mukti. Bhakti mukti haya. By performing bhakti, we can get mukti. I repeat these two statements again. Bhakti vinu mukti nahi, bhakti mukti haya. Without bhakti, we cannot get mukti. By performing bhakti, we can get mukti. Yes. So, first of all, we have to understand this fact, the truth, the satya, that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. When we understand this, body is temporary, soul is permanent. Body itself is temporary, and bodily connections are temporary, relationships are temporary. Bodily experience is also temporary. Sukha and dukkha is also temporary. When we understand this, then we can tolerate titikshava. Then we can become dhira. We can tolerate sukha and dukkha of the life. Then we can become dhira. Such person is known as sannyasi. Sat plus nyasi iti sannyasi. Such person can get the liberation. So liberation means situating ourselves on a spiritual platform. As a servant of Krishna, as a service to Krishna, we should perform bhakti. Then when we situate ourselves in the Swarupena Vyavastitaha, then mukti is natural to get, very easy to get mukti. We cannot get mukti without performing bhakti, situating ourselves on the spiritual platform. Yes. So this is a discussion. I'm going to give some more definitions of mukti here carefully. Coming out of the duality is called mukti. Coming out of the four problems, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, is called mukti. Coming out of the three modes of material nature is called mukti. Yes, the three modes of material nature. This is called muktis. But to get the mukti, what is the way of liberation? Prabhupada writes in the purport. He says, Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24, and his dependents, young wife as well as old mother, has no one else to look after them. So there was nobody who was taking care of wife, mother. But sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken a sannyas. Yet for a higher cause, he took sannyas and was steady in the discharge of higher duties. So he has given up all the hitvanyata rupam. He has taken up service to Krishna, higher duties. That is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage, Prabhupada writes. So that is a way of liberation. So amrutavyaya kalpate. Amrita, deathlessness, fearlessness is actually mukti. Amrita means there is no mrityu. There is no fear of mrityu. There is no death, there is no fear of death. That is mukti. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. This is how we define mukti. This is how we can achieve mukti. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions, comments, devotees?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I was asking that in family life we have a mother, father, and in future we will have wife, children. So by being in material life, how we can be detached? Because here it is talking it is talking about that living family life and taking sannyas and that. So it is not practical for all of us.
Yes.
And if we do also, then it will be called immaturely, just jump on. So what should we do?
Yes. So there are two things. Mriganka Prabhu. Yes, practically it is very difficult to give up. That's why we are not eligible for liberation. But that's why in the purport we have discussed bhakti is a means of liberation. Bhakti, only by performing bhakti we can get mukti. That's why we are discussing, even on practical level, we should be engaged in the service of Krishna. Wherever we are, whatever we are, however we are situated, we should engage ourselves in the service of Krishna. That gradually leads us to mukti. Yes. Without bhakti, we cannot get mukti. And bhakti is higher than mukti. That is one thing. Practically, bhakti is a prime most important thing. And bhaktas, devotees, they don't look forward for mukti. Mukti is very naturally comes. Now, when we discuss about sannyasi, we discussed, right? So he is ready to give up. So for that, to become ready for it, to give up, we need a preparation, right? So for that, we have to practice while living in the family life. While doing our activities, we can practice. That's why bhakti is very practical for everyone. We are not bothered about mukti. We should practice bhakti. Slowly, when we practice Krishna consciousness under the guidance, yes, immaturely we should not take up sannyas. Under the guidance, when we practice bhakti, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, then slowly and gradually we get situated in our Swarupa. That is mukti. Slowly, gradually we can get away from this duality, three modes of material nature. That is mukti. Right? Hope it's clear, Mriganka Prabhu. Under the guidance, first thing is under the guidance, second thing is bhakti should be performed. Mukti comes naturally. Hope I could understand your question. Hope I answered you.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, devotees. Thank you very much. Any other question? If there is another question, we can take one more question. Okay. Okay, devotees. Thank you very much. We'll end here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.